1, 2, 3. Hello viewers, welcome to yet another episode of Food with Sankar. Remember in our last episode with Chef Timareddy, we showcased different kinds of knives that are used by chef in the kitchens. In today's episode, we are with Chef Akshay Kulkarni, who is the HOD at Culinary Academy of India, today taking us through the table etiquettes, how to use different cutlery on the table in a fine dine setup. Let's go and know more about it. Thank you, Chef, for being on our show. It's a great pleasure to have you and educate our viewers the table etiquettes and how to dine in a fine dine restaurant. So I leave the table to you now. So let's go across and understand what kind of a cutlery is used for what course.
Thank you, Salpal. Thank you for having me on your show. As they say that a knife is an extension of a chef's hand, I say that cutlery is the extension for a customer's experience. Brilliant. Now, before we start off, let me first make this very clear that food is designed based upon the cutlery, and Indian food is not designed for cutlery. So please do not try and eat Indian food with this cutlery. Use your hands, right? Don't shy it away.
Brilliant.
Of course, but when it comes to a fine dining restaurant, we get pre-plated food, and that's where the cutlery plays the role, right? So I am going to explain you the cutlery used based upon the various courses that we have got. So generally, when you go to a restaurant, you would generally order an appetizer. So for an appetizer, we've got this knife, fork, and the spoon, right? We call it as an AP knife because it's called as an all-purpose knife. We have the AP spoon, which is a all-purpose spoon, and then we've got a fork, which is the all-purpose fork. Followed by this, we would generally order a soup. And for the soup, we've got a soup spoon. Now, if you see, the soup spoon is designed in such a way that you have to drink your soup this way. A lot of times I find customers trying to trouble themselves by turning this and then putting it in the mouth. No, not required. It's designed in such a way that you just take it and drink it this way.
Chef, before
Yes.
we go to the next set,
Right.
Between these two courses, if I haven't, want to have a salad,
All right.
do we have a set of cutlery for it?
Definitely. Lovely question, Sankal. And that's the reason we call this an AP, that is an all-purpose knife, spoon, and a fork. So in case you have an appetizer, or let's say you're having a pasta on the dish, or let's say you're having a salad on the menu, then you would be having the same set of cutlery for all these places. And that's where on the table, the waiter would probably lay out multiple sets of these cutlery based on the menu.
Okay. So only thing is, they would change the cutlery depending on the course.
Yes, generally they would probably lay down for 4 courses at a single time in case you have more than 4 courses coming onto the menu. And then they will again replace back the 4 courses with the another next set of courses what is going to happen.
Brilliant.
Right.
Done.
We also, if you probably take a classical French menu, then there are almost like 11, 13 or 17 courses of the menu. And one part of the menu or course is called as fish or a poisson. In
But
such
I'm
a case,
sure these days people don't consider fish as a course.
yeah, these days people do not have so much of time to even sit and dine. Right? If you probably take the earlier times, food was the major entertainment for them, and they used to spend hours together sitting with the food. And that's where probably they had 11 courses. We can't afford to even sit for half an hour today for a meal. Right? So, however, in case you probably get the time where you can sit and dine for that much time, and you have a fish on the menu, then we've got a fish fork. Now, the fish fork, you probably have a little cut. If you probably see this here.
Yes.
And same with the knife, you have a little cut here,
Oh,
right?
True.
Now, this cut is basically, one is for identification that this is a fish knife and fork. The second thing, it also helps to remove the bone from the fish in case it has gone. So you can just slide it away and then have the fish along with it, right?
nice.
The next is, you call it as a main course, and main course is generally red meat which is served, or probably a roast. And that's where we say a joint knife, which is this, a joint fork, and a joint spoon.
So these are in terms of size bigger than the
Bigger
baby
than size,
spoon.
because generally if you're talking about the red meats, you would probably, if you're saying a roast, you'll probably get a big chunk of meat that is coming in.
True.
And if you even see this knife, it has got a little serrated edge, which helps because red meats are a little tougher compared to fish or poultry. So it becomes much more easier to cut them.
Perfect.
This is the service gear. This is not for the guest. This is basically for the waiters, right? So this is a service gear where they would probably use a service knife and a service spoon to serve the rice or hold things together and serve it onto the plate, right? So it is much bigger in size so that you get a little larger quantity.
True.
Right, so before we probably go on to this side, I will probably go ahead here. We've got a side knife, right, which is generally placed on the side plate here. Or we have a butter knife. This is generally for serving, taking butter or applying onto your bread rolls while you are probably
Chef,
using-
sorry to interrupt you here. It has a broader edge at the end.
Correct. Now, in case you see this butter knife, it's got a little broader edge. The butter which comes on the table, it's a little, I would say, chilled. And then it becomes difficult to apply on the bread. So what you do is you got a little serrated edge on this here. You slice the butter and then you cream it onto the side of your plate. It becomes softer and then it becomes easier for you to apply in the bread roll or onto your bread and then have it. And that's the reason you saw a little broader
Yes.
knife coming onto this side. This is a cheese knife, and there are different ways, because one is it's easy to hold the cheese. Once you cut it, you can probably just pick it up.
Oh.
We also have a cheese knife where you'll probably have some holes in between.
Yes,
right?
sir.
That is generally given because cheese is quite sticky, and then you need some air while you slice it, and so that it doesn't stick to the knife. Here, with this knife, the challenge is the cheese after you slice it is going to get stuck to this.
Yes.
This is a steak knife, right? Generally served with steaks. Now, I'm sure a lot of you must have had steaks, and steak is basically a chunk of meat which weighs almost around 200 grams. And then slicing that becomes difficult with your all-purpose knife. So you get a little serrated edge on the sides. At times, you also require a sharp edge in the front so that you can even poke it inside. Right?
Pierce
so this
it
is
and then
pierce
cut
it,
it.
and then you basically saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so that's the reason the sawing of this.
And it's got even more deeper edges also.
Yeah, the edges are a little much more deeper compared to the joint fork that you will probably see.
Yes. Sir.
Now what we have here is a cracker, right? Generally used for shellfish, lobsters or crabs, right? So if
Crack
you
the shell.
crack the shell, right? There are a lot of, if you probably take the Europeans, they prefer to eat their shellfish, or they like the shellfish to be served just boiled and put it onto the plate.
True.
But then it becomes very difficult to actually eat it sitting on a table. So that's where you
And
probably...
it becomes awkward also.
It becomes awkward too, because trying to hold it with your hand and using your teeth like what we do, Vic or turmeric add, no, right? We've got this here, right? You're going to put the shell and just crack it, and then you take out the meat and then start having it, right? So that's your lobster cracker, or you can probably say crab cracker, depending upon what shellfish you're going to serve.
Coming to the last course.
Coming to the end of the meal is what you probably say. You would generally end up with a sorbet, or you would probably say a dessert or something.
Or
Now,
a fruit salad.
or a fruit
or
salad,
a coffee.
or a just sliced fruits. Or at the end of the meal, you would like to have, if it is Hyderabad, it is definitely going to be
Irani chai.
Irani chai, or probably coffee for a lot of other Westerners, right? So there is a cutlery for even for that. I'll start with these. This is again like your AP knife and fork, but then we would call this as a desert spoon and fork. Now generally, if this spoon and fork is placed on top of your plate, so if this is probably your plate and you place it on top of that, then it shows that the menu is going to be serving a
course.
dessert. That means as soon as the main course is cleared, a lot of time guests are in a hurry to run away, right? So if you see this indication, wait, because something sweet is following for you. So that's an indication, right? And probably they will open this cover for you before they serve the dessert. So a dessert knife, dessert fork, and a dessert spoon.
So audience, note this down.
Right.
Don't be a fool. If something is placed in front of you, oh, I'm done, I'm going to move out of the frame. Nope. There's a desert coming.
Right. See, the spoon is quite long, right? Call it as a sorbet spoon, right? So because the glasses, generally sorbets are served in glasses, and then, or probably even a sundae.
Yeah.
Probably have a sundae.
Yes.
Sundae is also long, then you probably require a spoon which goes right underneath. You don't want your fingers to get dirty.
Or else it's going to be a spoon trying to push inside the.
Yeah, basically that's all. And then you start licking your fingers, and then
Oh, no.
now,
Very awkward.
very awkward. Right. Ice creams, yes. You would probably have this flat, right? Compared to the other spoons. An ice cream spoon is going to be flat. This is a fruit fork. So in case just fruits are going to be served, then you will probably have 2 tongs. There are fruit forks which also have just 3 tongs, right? So it depends upon the
It's a
design
smaller
of the
in size.
company. Yeah, it's smaller in size, right? Because it just diced fruits that you're probably going to have.
Yes.
Chai or teaspoon, that's for coffee, a coffee spoon, right? You can probably find the little difference in the size, because if you see the coffee cup, it's a little smaller compared to the teacup, and that's the difference in the sizes out there. Sugar tongs, right, to pick up. Generally, if you probably go to a fine dine restaurant, they would not give you sugar.
Sachets.
Or
They don't even give those sachets.
correct.
to
So they will
pour.
give you cubes, right? So you just need to probably pick up cubes and then add it into your cup. So
Yes.
yeah, I think a majority of it is basically covered, right? So don't get nervous if you go to a fine dine restaurant. And I see a lot of my friends when they go and sit, and then they just are observing me as to what I'm doing. Please remember one thing: customer is always right, right? So don't bother in case you're not able to understand the cutlery. But yes, trying to learn this is definitely good for you when you sit with your boss or when you sit with some allied people. You probably can make a good impression of yourself.
Perfect. You very well concluded the whole thing. Don't become a fool in front of others by using a different kind of a cutlery for different foods. So try to educate yourself with the kind of cutlery that you need to use for different kind of course that is served to you in a fine dine restaurant. Thank you so much for watching. Please be safe and be healthy. Until next time, happy dining. Thank you, Chef.
Pleasure.
It was a pleasure to have you on our show today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chef.